What's the definition of a pet peeve?
Something that really irks you and ticks you off to no end. That's what I say it is.
Okay. All right.
Right? Sound about right?
Sure.
So my biggest pet peeve ever is people who cuss in public.
Oh.
Right? Now, hold on. It's specifically with women and children, right? So this happened just a few weeks ago. I was standing in line at the grocery store, and I'm there with my sweet, innocent little 8-year-old daughter. And the guy behind me, he was like, man, did you see that mother beep last night? Did you see the on that? And
Oh, wow.
And so Michaela's looking at me like, Mom? So I turned around and said, excuse me, would you mind toning it down a bit? I have my child here. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. Right?
Did he put his hands up like that?
Yeah. Like, of course
Did you have your gun?
I mean, I welcome to Texas, yow. Yeah. So I didn't have my gun out on him. I mean, I had it with me. We know this is something I
Right,
do.
right.
Yeah. And, well, he was nice about it. He's like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm so sorry. But I think he was kind of under the influence of something that was not legal. But Michaela was like, I can't believe people talk like that. I'm like, I'm your mother. You know people talk like that. No, just kidding. So, yeah, that's my number one biggest pet peeve. Or if I'm somewhere with my mom, my mom's 77, and then for somebody to be throwing that language around, and it just bothers me. It's something that my dad didn't allow in our household. I've made up for it over the years. Ever since I moved out. I can't wait to move out so I can say a bad word. No, but anyway, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. And the next one is, okay, for the love of God, people, flush your stuff.
Well, hang on. So let's visit this first pet peeve just a little bit. So,
okay.
Of course, my law enforcement background, right? I mean, it's just, you kind of cuss like a sailor sometimes, but you can clean it up in the right company as it is needed. One of the things that I figured out early on in my career was how, like you go to a family disturbance, right? And there's this yelling and screaming going on, stuff like that. And the cop comes in and calms everything down. And let's say that you're going to have to, arrest or do something with one of the people in there, right? They're going to either have to leave or whatever, but it's something that they don't want to do. Even though they may be cussing up a storm,
right?
One of the biggest mistakes that an officer can do is to jump on that bandwagon and cuss. Now, that's not in all situations. Of course, there's never an absolute, but generally speaking, that is not, and there's several different reasons. I'm going to focus on one, because what I learned early on was that it basically unlocks the whole situation for cussing. So they take it up. I've seen it happen so many times. They'll actually take it up a notch. So now that rather than just cussing once or twice, it's constant cussing, right? So they've got something maybe that they can.
Mother,
yeah.
All right, it's back and forth.
So it goes, and I've seen it escalate that way, and it's difficult for the officer now to try and bring that back down because he or she, stepped into that realm. So just something I learned early on. Not only that, but now, of course, the officers are all wearing body cams and all this kind of stuff too. So they really have to watch their language. Of course, they can use language if necessary. Sometimes it is appropriate to use that to kind of get that attention that you need. But being reckless about that can be problematic. So yeah, in situations, language can really work against you. So anyway, just an interesting thought I thought I'd share. What's your second
my
one?
2 favorite shirts, real quick. One says, I've got a great heart, but this mouth, right? That's one of my shirts.
Right.
And then my other shirt says, I love Jesus and cussing. I do. I cuss. It's one of those things.
You need to wear one of those for our show.
I think I will. So something that's very appropriate to say right now, because we're talking about language, I can tell my kid, hey, pick up your tennis shoes, put them in the tennis shoe box. Okay, great. And I go to the kitchen, I do my business, whatever I got to do in there. I come back, the shoes are there. Hey, I told you to pick up your shoes. How do you put them in the box? Okay, Mom. Go to the bedroom, hang up the laundry, come back out, and there they are. Pick up your damn shoes. Yes, Mom, right away. Like, there is no question. You throw in one of those curse words, it's like, oh, watch out. Mama's mad. But those are the situations where it's like, okay, I'm going to cuss in front of my kid.
So
my kid, I'll do what I want.
You don't count, right? Do you? Okay,
No.
so.
One smack. I'm like the KGB. That's funny.
Have you seen that? Speaking of which, from The Office, that clip,
Yes.
the knock joke?
Yes.
That is hilarious. That Office show is so funny, right? But the whole Michael Scott and what's the other guy's name? Dwight Schrute.
I don't know. I actually posted that on Facebook yesterday. It was the first time I really watched part of The Office.
Need to
I've
watch
never
The
seen
Office.
an episode. But I saw that, and I could not stop laughing. I watched it like 11 times. And he's like, knock, knock.
There's a whole bunch of
The
those.
KGB. The KGB who? Smack me, ask the questions. I was like, what? I mean, I couldn't stop watching it. It was the funniest thing. So yeah.
So did you see the way that Jim Halpert, he's the other guy, how he kind of wrapped that up with, anyway, that was just funny.
Hilarious. All right. So the next biggest pet peeve, and I told you, it's all about flushing your stuff. Seriously. There's nothing worse for me. Like,
you talking about toilet humor now or toilet
well,
stuff?
it's not very humorous. Although it can be. So I am kind of a germaphobe.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Just a little bit. So there's nothing worse than walking into a bathroom, right? And you're like, oh, I don't want to be here in the first place. You walk in, it's like, well, welcome to Turdville, right? Like it stinks to high heaven. And you go to open up the door and there's, oh, hey, well, at least you're wiped. You know, I'm proud of you. Great. And then you go to the next one. It's like, don't eat yellow snow. You know, that's like, come on, people, flush. It just drives me up the friggin' wall. And by that point, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to hold it. I'm just going to do the pee-pee dance for an hour and a half until we get home. But yeah, that's just a little PDA or PSA, excuse me.
Public service announcement.
There you go.
All
Flush
right.
your stuff, please. We appreciate you. From a mom with kids, flush your stuff.
How do you do for outhouses, though?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
You just hold it?
No. It's like, no. Stage fright. It doesn't work. I'm just like, can't do anything. Goodbye.
Wow. All right. So those are Nikki's pet peeves.